Balram recounts his life story in a letter to visiting Chinese official premier Wen Jiabao. With the goal of educating the premier about entrepreneurship in India, Balram writes from his luxurious office in the city of Bangalore. But the story begins in his rural ancestral village of Laxmangar. Despite the difficult life he is born into, Balram excels in school. Balram's parents recognize his potential and want him to complete his education. But his grandmother Kusum removes him from school early on so that he can work to support the family. Balram is determined to continue his education however he can. When he and his brother Kishan begin working in a tea shop in nearby Dadbad, Balram neglects his duties and spends his days listening to customers' conversation. After completing his driver's test, Balram knocks on the door of Dhanbad's rich families, offering his services. The family hires Balram to become Ashok's driver. In reality, Balram is more of a general servant to the family, while another servant, Ram Prasad, has the privilege of driving them. Balram learns that the Stokes family fortune comes from illegally selling coal out of government mines. When Balram learns that, the couple will need a driver in Delhi. He schemes to have a Ram Prasad dismissed and goes in his place. He gets the job, and once in Delhi, Balram witnesses Pinky and Ashok's marriage rapidly fall apart. Observing his master's gradual corruption and driving him through Delhi cedar districts, Balram becomes delusioned and resentful. Although Ashok is a relative kind master, Balram realized that whatever generosity Ashok has shown him is only a fraction of what he can afford. Ashok has no real interest in helping Balram achieve a better life or in changing the status quo. Balram plans to murder Ashok and escape with the bag of money that he carries around the city to bribe politicians. Balram knows that if he kills Ashok, Ashok's family will murder all of his own relatives in Laxmangar in retaliation. Balram is also held back by the arrival in Delhi of his young cousin Duram, who Kusum sends from Dhanbad with the demand that Balram help raise him. Balram finally resolves to proceed with the murder using a weapon he has fashioned out of a broken liquor bottle. One day, as he drives Ashok to deliver a particular large bribe, Balram pretends that there is a mechanical problem with the car and deceives Ashok, killing him. Using the money from Ashok, he bribes the police to clean his name. Balram creates a taxi company called White Tiger, drivers to bring call center workers home safely at night. And the venture is an enormous success. By the time he sits down to tell his story, Balram is a wealthy man who keeps to himself, still fearful that one day his crimes will be discovered. The theme of the movie is social class. The movie depicts the social class of India as either rich or poor. The only two classes Balram mentioned throughout the movie. Balram works his way up to the social hierarchy of India to escape his fate of being mere poor servants. He does numerous things in the movie to advance his social status, like learning to drive just to become a servant, beat the competition for the servant spot, or even killing his master, all just to escape the fate of being a servant hammered into his mind. The movie also shows the struggles of those two classes. It also shows the dichotomy of the working class and the rich. The working class struggle to feed their families themselves and plan for their future. The rich struggle to bribe politicians to avoid crimes like tax fraud. The movie shows the significant difference in life of the two social classes, showing that in India this growing distance of being poor and rich becomes longer and longer, as long as the rich continue to do things their way and as long as the poor continue to do things their way. The movie depicts the social class of India as a very problematic issue, because when the movie presents the metaphor rooster stuck in a cage, it shows the unescapable fate of the working class. One thing that Karl Marx wanted to do was destroy this idea of thinking between the rich and poor. He wanted everybody to be equal in terms of money and social class. He wanted to create a society where the metaphor of roosters in the cage becomes non-existent because of the equal opportunities between the people. This movie resolves on the lives of the working class. We see the everyday challenges they face of being exploited, abused, and overworked just for small amount of income. Despite this, they have no choice but to work. Because what could they do? They couldn't revolt against their masters because the power they hold. The rich can manipulate them just by knowing their families. This forces them to create an illusion of the loyalty inside their head. However, between those things happening, a parallel to the Marxists would show up. A Marxist like Balram. Balram does the things Karl Marx had envisioned for his Marxist world. Balram, just like Marx's ideology, revolted against his master by killing him, overthrowing the social class he has been born into. When he created his own company from the money he stole from his master, he hired employees that wouldn't act as servants but employees. He was fair to them, compensated for their mistakes, and treated them professionally. However, the ever-present social class would never go away, as Balram becomes part of the rich, while his employees then became poor. Although Balram showed Marxist qualities during the movie, in the end he wasn't fighting for equality but was fighting for himself, fighting to climb above the social class, struggling to have a better life. These events really show the non-stop cycle of the social class in life. It shows that a Marxist world in the future may have been bleak because of a circumstance people have made for each other. Despite this, the world really needs to fix problems in each of the social class, especially the working class. That being said, the movie is an imaginative portrayal of how one can overthrow the social class in this society.